helping you out by eating the hay. You shouldn't have to throw it off.
I know. Aren't they nice?
Maybe they're just impatient.
That could get it, babe. That could be it.
Hey, you guys are eating the string. Give that back. You can't have the strings. You stole the strings now.
I stole it, yes, because the cows take it if I don't. Yay!
And they're off. So we give the cows alfalfa every other day right now. Drive along and put it out. We try to put the flakes far enough apart so when the cows stand them, they don't poop on the next one. So you put it about 12 or 15 feet apart. They shouldn't poop on it while they're eating it. Sometimes the alfalfa is easy to flake, sometimes it's not. Depending on the bale, the quality. Sometimes it gets a little mold in it. We prefer that not to happen, but we can't really control that a lot of times. We buy our hay, it comes from a long ways away. Someday we'll try to get away from that, but it is what we're doing right now, so that's what we're doing. My wife's awesome. She gets up there, puts it out. I'm usually allergic to the stuff in it, so it makes me sneeze and everything all day if I do it. Our oldest daughter brings the car. She likes to follow along. She hadn't run over any cows yet, so that's good. We give this set of cows about half this bale, and then the other set of cows will get the other half. So we're just about done. She'll tell her to stop the tractor in just a minute, and then we'll tie it back up and stick out our round bales.
Find my halfway mark.
You're pretty close. Yeah, you're there. You're there.
Okay!
She's probably just going a little bit further where she wants to put the hay out. So there we go. Here she comes. She'll swing around and she'll get one of these bales of hay off the trailer. We'll cut this net wrap off of it. The net wrap makes it a lot faster when we're baling. It also, the bales store better outside. Water sheds off a little better than if we did the string. Oh, Sissy's getting out of the tractor to get some string that got left in the field from last year. We're always constantly picking it up. It's a battle. We don't want the cows to eat it. We don't want to leave it laying in our pasture. So we try to clean it up as we find it. We try not to put it in the pasture to start with, but sometimes it gets rolled up inside the hay. Sometimes it blows off the trailer. And sometimes we miss it. The net wrap's not as bad because it's usually all pretty much stuck together. We used to feed a lot of, all our bales had string until the last couple of years. We've transitioned to a new baler that does net wrap. Here she comes. Always an opportunity for fun. We're out here working, but gotta do something to entertain ourselves. The net wrap's sometimes kind of hard to cut. Takes a lot of cuts, but
I need to change the blade.
it does come off. But hey, we got some new blades in the car.
The Johnson grass is always harder to get the wrap off of.
Yeah.
Not hard, but cutting it.
Try to get it all pulled off. Double check the bale. It all looks good. Give her the thumbs up, and she'll go stick it out. I know the wind is probably kind of bad on the speaker today. Try to avoid that, but I need to get a different microphone. It'll be a little better. We wind up putting all our hay out like this. So we'll set it out, the tractor will come, we'll roll it, and you can kind of see down there, it's on top of the ground. They don't eat it all. A lot of people will ask us, and like, you're wasting a lot of hay, and they're not wrong. It does take a lot of hay. We don't consider it wasting it though. We cut all our own hay off our own pastures, off our own hay fields. We usually make more than enough hay. On years we're short, it's not as good, but so we'll roll it out, and then all the stuff that they don't eat because they don't like it, or they just don't like it as much, it'll sit on top of the ground, it'll break down, it'll put organic matter back in the soil. So we're trying to build our soil. So even though we're not utilizing our hay for the cows 100%, we are still utilizing it. The cows eat it, and then it goes through their system, and they poop it out on the ground everywhere. Maybe we'll be able to get through here with our chain harrow and break it all up. But if not, the bacteria and the microorganisms and everything in the soil will kind of spread that out and disperse it some. But we get all this cover on this ground. That's kind of hard to tell, but the grass in the cover grows better, and it'll grow even better next year. We've been feeding out on this pasture for a couple years now, and it's made a huge difference. We'll probably feed here another winter or two, and then we'll move to a different pasture. But it's building the soil. We need to get some cover crops put in to help speed the process up, but we're trying to get the organic matter back in. So it'll all be laid out, and especially when it's wet and cold, a lot of times the calves and stuff are laying it, the cows are laying it, they'll waste more, they'll poop in it some. If they poop in it, they don't eat anything around where they poop generally. So if you look over here, see they pooped on this section, they pooped there, and you can see they just eat around it, but they don't eat their poop. So it's there, it'll break down. This will be stronger, better grass next year. The soil will be healthier, hopefully, and it's just a cycle we're trying to perpetuate. Build our soil health, build our fertility, and hopefully someday we won't have to feed near as much hay once we get our pastures where we want them. Right now, and through the winter, it depends when we get our first freeze and when the grass kind of quits growing. We'll be feeding every other day, sometimes every third day, depending. If it gets pretty warm, there's a little bit of grass, we'll feed every third day. But when it's cold, rainy, or there's just nothing else growing, we'll end up feeding every other day. So every second day, we put out the brown bales, and then usually once the cold weather sits in is when we start putting out the alfalfa. Usually when we start in the winter, there's a lot of standing forage left, so we just put out round bales to supplement. Then once it gets colder, they need a lot more energy so the cows can stay warm, because that's how cows stay warm in the cold. They have to eat lots of food, and that's what keeps them warm. If they don't have it, they're cold. We do try to keep cedar trees in our pastures. I'm not the biggest fan of cedars, but around all our borders, we'll have cedar trees they can kind of bury up in and get out of the wind, make a little windbreak for them. When we put out hay every other day, right now, we're not putting out quite as much because it's fairly warm. There's a little bit of stuff growing, not much, but it takes us about 3 hours to get all the hay put out, all the alfalfa put out. We'll walk through, check all the cows before we head out of the pasture, make sure there's nobody with any new injuries or looks sick. If they have pneumonia or something like that, we'll have to address that. Look at their eyes, make sure they don't have stickers. Oh, Sissy's waving at us, yeah. So we'll just get this rolled out, get some cover on the ground. The cows will eat whatever they want. They won't eat it all, but that's all right. Like I said, that's all part of our program. Also, another drawback, if you do feed in rings, especially once it starts raining, they tend to just come to the ring because that's where the hay's at, and they trample it, make a huge muddy mess. You have to remove your rings often, but it kind of just makes this nasty mess of a big circle area wherever your rings are, and it's rough on your pastures a lot of times. So we prefer to roll it out like this. We do waste some hay, but it's going back in our soil, so we don't see it as a waste. We see it as a added benefit. And all our hay comes off our own place, so we try not to remove any of the organic matter, any of the nutrients from our place. It gets cycled through the cows, and then they make manure, put it back on the ground. If they don't eat it, it goes back on the ground and breaks down the way nature intended. So that's what we're doing. What are you doing up there, Burley?
I'm doing creative riding.
Creative riding? That's pretty cool. Uh-oh, here comes Nana. Hold on, Burley. Looks like there might be some fire ants in this bale.
I'm gonna go to the other side.
Put a new razor blade on there, didn't you?
I did, thank you. For purchasing some new
That's
blades.
a lot better.
Yeah.
This is a better bale for as far as cutting too.
Yeah, I know it's at rye
Yeah.
and clover.
Hi, Sissy. Well, hi, ladies. Is that some good alfalfa today? This cow is out of the neighbor's bull, and she's, I don't know, probably 6 or 7 years old now, but she never fails to have a calf, so she's still here. As you notice, she's pretty much the only white one we have, but she's productive, so she gets to stay. White cow's actually 7. See?
So. She's a D. So.
Where's the time go? Close the door. Got some clover growing out here in the pasture. There's quite a bit of clover. That's good. Spring will be here before we know it. Hopefully. The cows are ready for spring. They want some fresh green grass. They like the hay, but they would rather have green grass. And once it starts growing, they'll actually get off the hay and they won't even hardly come to it. They'll stay out there and eat green grass. It'll really loosen up their poop and everything. They'll have diarrhea for a while as they switch over. And the first flush of green grass usually isn't very nutritious. It's mostly a lot of water in it, but that doesn't slow them down. They really like it. So hopefully before long they'll be chasing grass and we'll be feeding less hay.
Carly, what does this stripe mean?
What's the stripe mean?
It means it's almost empty.
Oh, so it means the roll of net wrap when you're baling is almost empty, so you can tell when you spit the bale out, it's got that red stripe, you know it's time to switch your roll pretty much.
You see that stripe? You can do like 2.5-ish.
So you see the stripe, you
That's all we've got left.
2.5 bales is how we've got it set. Are you ready to hold him?
Yeah.
What's his name? Hoovy?
Yeah, Hoover.
Hoover. Not Dirt Devil?
No.
Not Dustbuster?
I told you it's Hoover.
It's Hoover. Is he a vacuum cleaner?
No.
What is he?
No.
A dog. He's kind of like a dog, but smaller.
He's a dachshund.
A dachshund. What you got on the back of your book there? Oh, that's pretty. Did you make that?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's a rainbow flowers.
Some storm and thunderclouds and sun. It's got it all. That's pretty beautiful.